Hey yo, what's up guys? It's your boy 10 Y'all Scene 1, and today we're gonna finally continue with where we left off in the last tutorial, and yeah, I'm finally here after around 10 days or more, I suppose, and what can I say, I've been busy, and probably for not for long, I just thought I should drop by and just, make a video tutorial on this, and yeah, and thank you so much for joining me on my last stream. So, anyhow, without any further ado, so let's kind of go and see what we're supposed to cover in this series and stuff. So basically, we're supposed to cover bullet hit particle effects. Wherever the bullet lands, the raycast lands, we're gonna spawn a particle effect there. Bullet impact holds, same things, such as the particle effect. So just holds, bullet impact holds. That's what we're gonna spawn, and then shooting from the center of the camera. Basically, so we're gonna shoot from the center of the camera. A lot of people have asked me about that one, and yeah, definitely doing that. Then we have semi-shooting mods for pistol, for handguns, stuff like that. So you can press the button and it shoots. Holding the button would not allow shooting or anything like that. So yeah, anyhow, without any further ado, let's get started. Okay, so before I get started, I just want to show you guys that this is a basic scene I made, and if you've watched my live streams, then you've probably seen this already. Basically, just a scene with certain, you could say, image effects, lighting techniques, nothing too special or fancy, really, but yeah, so just to make things look good and nice. As you can see, there's some nice light bounces there. There's also, I believe, do have it, yeah, some nice skin effect on the hand. So if I can just go ahead, I can actually disable that effect as well. It looked really dull, but with the effect, it looks like there's actual, it actually feels like a skin and stuff. So yeah, just let me know if you guys wanna check it out, how to make this. I'll probably have some sort of a poll on the top right hand corner of the screen or something. So yeah. Okay, so back in Unity, this is basically where we left off. Now you might see there are some new, there's a new folder called the Prefabs folder, and we also have bullet hole prefab and FPS controller and hit spark. So I just set this up. Hit sparks is basically just the flare asset with a couple changes, minor changes, so just turn off the looping and reduce the duration. So nothing too fancy, don't worry about it. And basically I just fetched a texture from Google, the king of the internet, and yeah, basically this is just a texture applied to a quad just to make things simpler. And let me just go and disable the collider. Actually, never mind, you don't have to do that. I'll probably have a link to that, this and this in the description below, so be sure to check that out. Anyways, and what are prefabs, by the way? Prefabs are basically objects. So basically this object, you can store it as a prefab by dragging and dropping it in the in any folder, or you can simply say right click, create prefab, which basically will store this object. So all its configuration. So in case you lose the scene or anything, or you want to reuse this object in another scene without just setting stuff up, all that stuff. So you could just basically drag and drop this guy in the scene, and it will be pre-configured and stuff. Pretty basic stuff. So anyhow, so let's get started with the particle system, or the particle effect, which we're supposed to do. So basically, we have a particle system here, which is, it's just something like this. Looks something like this. So just some particles which just bulge out of the y-axis, and yeah. So we want to spawn this object wherever the raycast hits or lands, and we also want it to align. So the y-axis is basically aligned with the surface, or is perpendicular to the surface. Okay. So something like yeah. So I'll just on the go, I'll explain how that works. So let's go to our script here, the weapon script, and here we're going to create certain variables. So we're going to create two game object variables, namely hit particles and let's call this bullet holes, bullet impact actually. So you might notice that the script is actually starting to pretty much become really what can I say, dirty and stuff. So to pretty much manage it, you can add a header, which goes like this, header, and you can like add a string to that. So that would be like something like you can say weapon config, and then you can have multiple headers to just clean stuff up. But for the time being, I'm not really gonna use it. Maybe in another part where we're gonna clean up the code and stuff like that. So we have two variables, and let's go down to where we are actually shooting in the fire function. Now we're gonna actually spawn both of the objects. Okay, so we're gonna spawn both of them in a very similar manner. Okay, so we're gonna say, okay, game object. We're gonna actually create another variable, game object, which is gonna store a reference to the object, to the hit particle. So that is gonna be like game object hit particle effect, let's call it, and that is going to be instantiate. Now what instantiate is, it's a function which allows you to basically spawn an object, create an object in the scene, and you can assign which position and what position it's supposed to have and what rotation it's supposed to have, basically. So we're gonna say, okay, we're gonna spawn hit particles. That is our game object. We're gonna spawn it. Now notice I'm actually using this, I'm actually putting it inside of the raycast if statement. That is because we want to actually position this object at the result of where our hit ray, our raycast hit it. So basically this is our hit. It's actually storing the result of this function, okay? And it's actually storing it by out. Out is basically, so this variable will be changed. It's not actually going in the function, it's also returning and storing that variable, or the value whichever this function returns. So we can pretty much say hit.point. Hit.point is wherever the ray landed, the position of that specific spot or that specific point in space, world space again. And then we're gonna pretty much change its rotation. So rotation is, this one's gonna be pretty weird, so I'm gonna just type it out and I'll explain that in a second. Okay. Alright, to explain this, what we're basically doing is we're actually aligning the vector up of the hit particle object with the hit.normal. Now, what the hit.normal is basically, so if I go here and I just pretty much, okay. Alright, if I pretty much drag and drop the hit particles, hit sparks here, you see that we're supposed to align the y-axis, which is this, with the actual, what can I say, the normal, so with this. So we want it to be perpendicular to the wall or to whatever object the ray actually hits. Or if I go here, I can just show you. So basically we want it to be something like this. So basically this is our surface, for example. This is the object or the raycast, and this is how it hits. So it hits like this, all right? It's the object at this point, for example. This is our object. And basically, what the normal returns is, it returns the 90-degree, you can say, direction, which is like 90 degrees to that particular object, okay? I'm sorry, I can't really draw right now. But yeah, so this is what it returns. And basically, what we're going to do is we're going to align the particle system. So for example, the particle system's the y-axis, which is this axis. And this is the particle system. And this is the particle system. So this is how the sparks are actually supposed to go. Okay, and we're going to align this direction with this direction right there. So we're going to align it with that. And we're going to pretty much do that by saying quaternion from to rotation. So from this direction to this direction, or that one, something like that. Okay, hope that kind of makes sense. Anyways, let's go back and let's see. Let me just put that away. Okay, so basically, we are ready to test our code, so we can go to the FPS controller, the weapon, and we can drag and drop the hit sparks onto the variable, which is the hit particles, and we can try playing the game and see how that works. Bam! So if I go back to the hierarchy, actually, and I select the particle system, you'll see that the green arrow, which is the y-axis, is perfectly aligned with the surface for these surfaces, you can again see the green arrow is perfectly aligned. It's perfectly perpendicular to the surface, perfectly to the 90-degree angle, and here as well, and here as well. And that's exactly what we want. It works like a charm, and that's that. Now what we're going to do, we're going to do the same exact thing for the bullet hole. So we're going to say, okay, go ahead, and we're going to copy this, create a new line, and we're going to say bullet hole, or yeah, bullet hole, let's call it. And we're going to spawn in our bullet impact object, which we created earlier. We're going to spawn it at this point, but what we're going to change is this. We don't want to align the vector3.up direction with the hit.normal in our case. So if I go here, and if I pretty much drag and drop the bullet hole onto, for example, this object, there we go. And basically what I've done is, if you pretty much open this object up, you might see that it's not at a perfect 0 position. It's actually slightly, you can say, away from this. So this is like an empty game object. This is the actual bullet hole, and it's slightly away. Okay, and that's exactly what we want. We don't want it to be exactly at that position. So basically what we're going to do, we're going to align the z-axis, which is this, blue arrow, with the surface. So it's going to be something like this. It's going to be like that. Wait, there we go. Okay, so it's going to align like that with the surface. All right, and if I actually don't, so I'm adding an offset right there. It's slightly away. If I don't add that offset, it's going to be like really along with the surface, and it's going to overlap with the surface, and you'll see that it'll cause a lot of issues and a lot of flickering issues and stuff like that. So just to prevent that, I'm just doing that. Okay, so let's delete that. So instead of using vector3.up, we're going to say vector3.forward, so aligning the blue arrow with the surface, so it's perpendicular or 90 degrees to the surface and stuff. That's that, and we can save it. We can go back to our Unity editor. And hopefully I did not. Okay, cool. And we can go to our weapon and drag and drop the bullet hole to the bullet impact and start and see how it goes. Aim. So we can spawn in bullet holes now, practically everywhere, and that works like a charm. Now, there is one thing you might, you might be worried about, is the hierarchy. You can see the hierarchy is just spamming with hit sparks and bullet holes, and that is not good at all. We don't want it to just keep the objects there, so that would be basically mean that we'll keep on creating millions of objects and not even delete them. So we want to delete it, and we want to clear up the hierarchy. Now, one thing which would come in handy here would be object pooling. I'm not sure if it would come in handy in this case, but mainly usually you can use object pooling, so it's reusing the same object, just activating them and deactivating them, so you don't actually spawn and destroy them, because usually spawning and destroying them uses a lot of CPU, and it basically fills or allocates RAM to that object, and it disallocates it, and it's like it kind of flickers, or causes the FPS to drop and increase, and enable them to be even or stable. So instead of using object pooling, that would mean that that specific object has allocated or is using RAM at all times, but it's not using CPU, because it's not removing and spawning again and again. It exists, but you just change the position and stuff like that. So it's a kind of a different concept. Let's discuss that in the next video or some other video. I'm sorry, I can't speak today, okay? So let's remove these two objects now. What we can simply do is we can say destroy, and we can say hit particle effect, and the time after the time which we want. So we wanted to destroy after 1 second. For the bullet holes, I wanted to destroy after, for example, a bullet hole, not impact. I wanted to destroy after 2 seconds. So basically now we're actually destroying both of these objects. And if you go back to the editor, we'll see that they are actually destroying, and they're cleared up from the hierarchy and stuff. So pretty basic stuff. Yeah, you can't see the reaction of that, but yeah. So yeah, nice. Anyhow, let's go back here, and the next thing which we are supposed to cover, if I remember correctly, okay, shooting from the center of the camera, and then afterwards the semi-shooting mode. So the way we can do the shooting from the center of the camera could be really basic, actually. And that could be like, for example, that could be something like, we can actually just go to the weapon, And we can assign the main camera, which is the first person character, in place of the shoot point. But you might see that it might cause some issues. So if I try playing now, if I shoot downwards, the raycast is actually interfering with the collider of my object, my player. And to simply fix that, what I can do is I can go select the camera, right click, create empty, and then I can pretty much I'm like creating another empty game object, which is exactly at the position of where the camera is. Then I can rename it to cam shoot point, for example, and I can move it like 0.5 meters ahead, and I can basically go select my AK-47, drag and drop the cam shoot point in place of the shoot point, save, and then we can try playing it, and bam, that's gone. No issues, and we're actually shooting from the center of the camera, exactly from the center of the camera this time. So yeah, that works. That is that. There are certain other ways which you can do this. So you can pretty much go ahead and you can say camera.main.transform.position, and then you can do the same exact thing. So camera.main.transform.forward. That would mean that we're actually accessing the main camera in the scene. So if you have multiple cameras, this is probably not a good idea, but yeah, it's actually a good idea to store a reference to the game object instead of accessing directly this way. So yeah, so I'm gonna just keep it that and just switch. I've just switched this to the shoot point which we created right here, just slightly in front of the camera and not exactly the position of the camera. Okay. Now then, now we've covered all the 3 points and stuff. Now to finally move on to the semi and auto shooting mod. For that, we need to create another variable or something, and which is going to be slightly a different thing. It's going to be an enumerator type, and I have no idea how to pronounce this, but I'm just saying it anyway. But basically, what that is that it's an integer. But each integer, you can say you can name that integer to make things more explainable and easy and stuff. So basically, the way we're going to create this is we're going to say public shoot public enum. So enum is the type enumerator, enum for enum short for that, and we're going to say shoot mod. So shoot mod is the enumerator we're creating, you can say integer we're declaring. We haven't really declared it for use in the script though. So we want there to be 2 shooting mods. One should be auto, and the other should be semi. You can have others like burst or something, and if you want, I can really show you that as well, but yeah, let's see. And that's that. And what we want to do is we want to go ahead and we want to actually use this in the script now. So we've created the enumerator, but we're not actually using it in the script. So to use it, we're going to say public shoot mod. So this is the types. This is it's sort of similar to like these, you can say, animators and stuff. So but it's different though, not that similar. So we're basically using it in the script, and now we're naming it. You can name it anything. I'm naming it shoot mod, or you can say shooting mod to make things slightly easier, and that's that. So we have a basic enumerator which also works as an integer. This is 0, this is 1. Okay, so this is the same as the integers, but yeah, it's all 0 and 1, that's it, there's nothing more to it. Now to change things slightly, what we're going to do is, first of all, I'm going to create another private boolean variable. So private bool shoot input. And this is actually going to store our input, our result from this. So based on auto and semi, we're going to change certain aspects, and this is going to store those aspects. And basically, what we're going to do is we're going to replace this with shoot input. So if we actually are pressing something or shoot input is there, then we're going to shoot and stuff like that. And now then, what we're going to do is a very basic thing really. Now there are 2 ways you can change this. So basically, if you want the weapon to change shooting mods in real time, then you are supposed to write this code in the update. Or if you just wanted to change the shooting mod just once, so you can write the code which we're about to write in the start function. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna use something called switch, and I'll explain that in a second. So switch, bracket open, bracket close, and shooting mod. So what this does is it basically changes. It's like an if statement, which jumps from one thing to another. You can say this is like let's just move on and I'll explain that how that goes. So case. So now I'm gonna show you something. So notice how when I wrote case, I'm not writing the name of the variable shooting mod. I'm actually using the type. I'm actually directly using the enumerator, and then I'm accessing the auto integer from there. You can even write if case 0 here, and it would work the exact same way. But this is again just to make things slightly simple and stuff. And I'm not actually sort of sure if 0 would exactly work the same way. I think it would though. But yeah, so you can even use this for normal integers as well. And we're gonna say break. What break does is basically it's gonna cancel the switch function. So if we've selected the auto mode, whatever is in between here is gonna execute, and once that is done, we're gonna break. We're gonna cancel out of this switch statement, and we're gonna create another case, and that would be shootmod.semi and break again. So break stuff. Oh yeah, no, don't break stuff, kids, please. All right, and now what we're gonna do. So we have two cases, you can say, you know, it's really self-explanatory. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna change the input based on that. So I'm gonna say shoot input equals input.getButton fire 1. So basically the same exact thing which we had here in the if statement. So if we're holding the left mouse button, then shoot input will be true, and so we'll just keep on shooting and shooting just like we did. Nothing different, the same thing. But if we are actually in the semi mod, then we're gonna say shoot input equals input.getButton down. So yeah, down. So if you got the left mouse button down, then we will just shoot once. This is the semi mod. That's how it's gonna work. Okay, so that is that is actually it for the semi and auto shooting mod. So if I pretty much go and save this, and I go back to Unity, you'll see that it should work like a charm. I hope it does though. Let's try playing it and let's see. Okay, so right now I'm on the auto mod and I keep holding the left mouse button and I can shoot. But if I'm on the semi mod, you see I can only shoot once. If I'm holding the mouse button right now and it's not shooting again and again, but if I keep on pressing the shoot left mouse button, it keeps on shooting. And that is exactly what we want. Now, take note that it will still respect the fire rate. So no matter how hard you go, like, it will still like, you know, respect the fire rate. It's not like it can go any higher. So if I make it like 0.5, and I'm shooting really fast or trying to shoot really fast, it's gonna be really slow despite that. So yeah, that's how it's gonna work. Cool. Now with that done, we have basically created everything which we were supposed to cover in this tutorial. And yeah, so we've got certain other things to cover in the next ones, maybe an alternated reload method. So it's a lot simpler. Instead of using state machine behaviors, we're going to use something called animation events, randomizing the shoot direction so we don't shoot at the exact same point in space always. This is good. This is really basic actually. But yeah, I'm just going to save it for next time because I think we're running out of time. And damaging and destroying objects, I've got a lot of requests on this one as well. So yeah, really simple again. We will use something like we can use two things, something like a send message function, or we can directly like execute a function from another script. Really basic stuff again. And then we have some minor code cleanups, so just to clean up the code so it's more understandable and whatnot. And as for a lot of people, you know, a lot of people have told me to actually upload the project and scripts, and well, I do believe that there should be some bargain or something, like, I'm really happy that my subscribers are actually increasing with quite some speed. But if you guys can share my videos as much as possible, you know, support me as much as possible so I can feel better about myself. No, I'm not the social media guy, I'm sorry. I'm just a typical guy, but you know. So yeah, so most likely soon I'll probably start uploading project files as well, so don't worry about that one. And hopefully that is about it. Yeah. So we've covered pretty much. And note, we are using Unity 5.5, so if you're having any issues, make sure you are on Unity 5.5 or the newer version, okay, the latest version or anything like that, okay? This isn't the latest version, but yeah. So yeah, you know, any versions which are previous than this one or like earlier versions will probably give you issues with all the objects which are in all the files which are in the description. But anyhow, I'll upload the bullet decals and stuff like that. Anyways, it was amazing to have you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will really try to spice up with the memes and stuff. I don't know how I'm gonna do that though. Are there memes here? Like, I don't know. Like from the timeline I'm talking, I'm not even sure myself. But let's hope there are. Okay. So yeah. Anyways, that is about it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, just let me know what I should do, and like just wish me good luck for my exams, whatnot. Because yeah, I'm just having a really hard time, and yeah, I really gotta get the maze and stuff. But yeah, anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed. This is probably the third, fourth time I've said that already, but yeah, I don't know what to say. So maybe you can just leave the video right now. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep on recording and stuff. Okay. Oh, by the way, should I add bloopers? Like, oh, because I this is the third time I'm recording this video. Yeah, because I messed up the audio channels the first time. The second time I messed up, like there were loads of distractions and loads of background noises and people and stuff, so I wasn't able to record properly. And I just got so angry and I just rage quitted. But not giving up. This is the third time, and I think this one went well. Just if the editing would go well as well, that would be great. So yeah, just let me know if I should add the behind the scenes videos just for the sake of entertainment or something. That would be good. And yeah, so that is it, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.